you, give you a little background, and then they're going to share some things.
No, I'm having issues and I'm embarrassed to know. I'm just going to look cute like this.
She wants to look cute like that. Okay, I'm going to start with Dawn.
Oh, wow. It's one of my waterheads. We cry a lot.
Okay. She came to the house in January, and she was in one of my classes at a prison. That's how we met. That's how I met most of these ladies, actually. It's a requirement to come to the house. You have to be in prison. Everything else, you know, whatever. Okay. I would like you to tell us what changes and growth you have experienced in yourself since coming to the house.
Changes in myself. Well, I came with an open mind coming into the ministry to do whatever I needed to do to change for the better, because I definitely didn't want to go back to jail and do what I had done again, for sure. I actually went through a bout of depression while I was at the house. I could not wake up for anything. Everything was dark and gray. I always found myself where I felt like I was in a gray zone and I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. And there was just a pivotal point in my journey where it just suddenly like dawned on me, you know, like, do I really want to continue to feel this way? You know, like, what do I need to do to change this? And this was just 4 months ago. You know, you hear about, you know, people having this miraculous change, or the stories that you hear, and it's just like, I can't deny that it's true because it happened to me. I'm living here telling you that I was so far away, and just the idea of letting go of the control or the things that I had and being able to let go and let God, you know, it's one thing to say it, but to actually do it is a totally different thing. And when I just actually just sat and prayed one night, it was just like, okay, I can't do this by myself. Things just changed so drastically for me. I found myself getting up in the morning. I found myself wanting to live life, to move forward. I found myself in prayer more often. Long story short, I went from that to, I wake up on my own now every morning, in between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. I have a morning run. I thank God for everything that He's given and the journey that He's allowed me to have. I smile, I sing, I dance, it's great. And it's just so amazing to be able to finally feel God's love inside me to where I actually love myself. That, I think, my self-worth is the biggest thing that I've gained from this entire experience. I couldn't be so more thankful and appreciative for me being in the place that I'm at, being able to take the time out to grow with God and grow with Miss Linda and Mr. Joe and ministering the love that they have for me. It's literally a miracle, and it's amazing at how I view the world now and view everything around me, because I used to just think that everything was just so blah, and now everything is so it is so awesome.
I will tell you, she's telling you the truth. Ellie was her wake-up buddy. We had to assign someone to her to get her up in the morning. And when everyone in the house tried, it was my turn. And that's when, when she would get up, I'd run up there and I'd say, get out of bed. And she'd go, okay, Miss Linda, okay, Miss Linda. And this is what we were facing. Her room always looked like a bomb went off, and she didn't understand what it was to make a bed. But now, this girl, you would not believe, she is up at 5 o'clock in the morning. She's singing, she's dancing. Her room is clean, her bed is made, her laundry's done. It's amazing. And it literally did happen almost overnight. And I told her, I said, something's got to change, girl, because this isn't working. And she got the message, and I'm just so thankful. And I'm thankful for Sue Ferrari over here somewhere. She's her counselor. Sue comes out, she's from Breath of Life, and she comes out every Tuesday to kind of get these girls in line. And I thank you. And I thank Miss Brenda Coffin. Where are you, Brenda? She's around here somewhere. She's over there. She comes out faithfully every week. She does some spiritual things with the girls, and they just love it. And I'm just so thankful. I couldn't do it without these people coming out to help. All right, next, Ellie, you are up. Aren't you glad you're not her wake-up buddy anymore?
So glad.
Really don't know. Okay. All right, Ellie. I know that coming to the house has been a big change for you also. You're a young mom, and your mom, right here, her mom, has been raising your son, who's 5 years old. And since coming to the house, your relationship with him has changed. So I want you to speak about what you've discovered about yourself as a mom and your relationship with your son.
Okay, I guess I need to backtrack a little bit. I'm a recovering addict, and looking back, you know, my active addiction, my goal was just to maintain a flat line of emotion. I had so much guilt and shame and dark, heavy stuff that I just wasn't ready to go through or deal with, and that kept me sick for a long time. And when I was arrested and went to prison, I kind of had to thaw out, even though I wasn't ready to. So I got clean in jail, and I remember just wanting to cling to my son. I felt like I needed him to validate my feelings because of all that heaviness that I had. I remember waiting sometimes 3 or 4 days just to get a chance to get on the phone and call home, and just with such high hopes that he would get on the phone and tell me that he loves me and that he misses me. I needed to hear that from him. And coming to the house, I was provided with the tools and the resources that I needed to sort through those feelings. And you know, that was wrong of me to look to him to fix me. I could tell you all day how happy I am to have him in my life again and to spend every weekend with him, but that gratitude I have for that is just a drop compared to an ocean of how much joy and gratitude I have that he has me in his life, because that's what's most important. Smoky eyes, that was a terrible idea.
And I have to tell you that on the weekends when your son comes, he's just rules the roost. That happens when the kids come. They get spoiled because everybody there just loves him. But he's a great little kid. And I have seen his relationship with her grow since that first time he came. He was a little standoffish. He wasn't sure. She was still a little flat with her emotions, but that's not the case anymore. They're inseparable when he's there. She's an excellent mom. All right, Vicki, you're next. This is Vicki Grant. This is Ellie's mom. And I've asked her to share briefly how her relationship with her daughter has changed since she came to the house.
All right, I'll give you the abridged version. She was in a 10-year spiral. It's gone on for 10 years. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. I watched her derail just one step at a time, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And I just stood on the Word, and just kept believing. I prayed. There were nights that I would just get up and just walk the floors and pray for her, knowing that God was in control. And I knew that she had the Word in her, and that's why I always prayed that all those sermons she heard her whole life, that would just come forth and rise up in her, and she would not forget those words. So I knew God had a handle on her, but when it comes to a place where the best place for your child is prison, so you know that they won't die, it's a hard place for a parent. It's been a long journey. But to see her recovery now is amazing. It's still a little scary for me. It's kind of new. And it's a faith walk daily. To watch her relationship be renewed with her son is amazing. He's an amazing little boy. And he has been a tremendous responsibility for me to take on, but the blessings far outweigh the responsibilities. So our relationship is growing. We definitely were at a place one time where it just came down to I had to protect her son from her. And that's my daughter and my grandson, and I said to God, could it get any more complicated? I mean, it was just so raw with emotion. I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, you know, I kept praying for wisdom, and I knew that God was saying, she is an adult, you have to protect the child. So that's the way things went, and I took him into my care, and I knew when she landed in prison, God would get a hold of her there, and I just had to keep believing. And now we're finally at that place where we're seeing growth and change. And it's like getting to know her for the first time. I think the last time I knew her, she was a child. And now it's like she's waking up and she's an adult. So it's been a very long journey, but there's been a lot of fruit along the way, a lot of blessings. I couldn't have done it without that. And I thank Joe for all that you do. Thank you.
And now we have Robin. Her daughter couldn't be with us tonight. She had other obligations. But I asked her if she would speak, and she said yes. And she's a mom, and her daughter was with us for 18 months. You know that's the longest anybody's ever stayed with us.
I believe it.
She set the record. Yes.
I believe it.
Yes. But remember those rough packages they come in sometimes? Yes.
The
God's jewels. Yes, she's a jewel. Took a while to get there, but she's wonderful. And I've asked Robin to share her thoughts about the whole situation with her daughter and her granddaughter and coming to the house.
Well, it's amazing because after hearing you, I went through the exact same thing for 12 years.
Can you hear her?
Please say yes, I hate microphones. But I knew that Jenna would come around at some point. The hardest thing is knowing that you aren't in control. You can't make it happen. And we loved our daughter, we did everything for her. And she got into drugs. And she had issues that I really didn't know about. So when she went to you, it was a godsend. And like you, I felt it was the only way to keep her safe. Prison. I think that was my biggest unbelievable moment, is to know that you have a child that you brought up and loved, and they're in prison? Well, what happened here? How'd this happen? And, but I knew that the Lord had a plan, and the plan was you and Joe and Bird Ministries. Because she went to Lancaster. We lived in Lebanon. She went to Lancaster. She had money in her wallet. I was in the shower and she said, "Oh, Mom, I'm going out now. I'm going to go shopping. Gina's here," her 3-year-old daughter. Okay, I'll get out of the shower real quick. Gina can't be alone. She was picked up in Lancaster after stealing 2 pair of pants and 2 sweaters with money in her wallet. It was God's destiny for her that she wound up going to jail in Lancaster. Praise the Lord. How could I have ever prayed for something like that to happen to her? And yet it was the turning point in her life. And she was a manipulator, and I was an enabler. What a combination. But when she came to the house of Ruth, they focused on the Lord, counseling. They have the worship center, which has always accepted her, never made her feel like she wasn't worthy to be there. And I think that was such a winning combination, and God knew exactly what he was doing. So today, Jennifer is a productive member of society. There by the grace of God goes anybody. You don't know what could happen to you to make you fall. You just have to believe that God is always by your side. And He will carry you through anything. And He has.
Jen is now married.
Married. And to somebody who actually works at the worship center. They're an awesome couple. They're bringing my granddaughter, who I just, like you, raised since she was a little girl. Now I don't get to see her enough. But they raise her with God's love all around her, and He radiates in their lives. So thank you, Linda, and thank you, Joe.
Now, Keisha. All right, Keisha came to us from state prison, 2008. She was one of frequent flyers I was talking about. A lot of years, a lot of miles. All I can say about Keisha is that we loved her. She had a real bad street attitude. And a couple of other pastors and I prayed for her all the time. And when she went to state prison, I got a letter from her, a 14-page letter, telling me that God had gotten hold of her. I said, amen. And I used to tell people, I'm praying that God will do for you what He did for Keisha. And we went and picked her up at boot camp in September of 2008. She had to take a couple places to go, but she showed up at the house, and she was there a while. Her kids came. How old were you, Maya? About 5, 4? 4. Her 2 smallest children just got literally dumped on this doorstep. We got her into Beth Shalom, and she was their model resident of the year a couple times, She went to school. She's a certified medical assistant, despite what the law says about it. And she is a office manager at Naaman Center in Lancaster. And she's one of the ladies that fought real hard to get her children. Her children were in the system, the 2 oldest ones, and they were telling her she couldn't have them back. And she fought. We cried and prayed, and she got them. But I wanted her to share some insight into that whole process of coming home and having to fight to get your children back, and just your journey.
I don't even know what to say. It was about 2 years it took me to get my kids from children and youth. It's a process that I don't wish on anyone, but if you have to go through it, you have to be ready for war. I mean, it started out where they would give me a visit once a month for an hour. If I was a minute or 2 late, they cut the visit short. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, I had to go through court hearing after court hearing. Meanwhile, I had to do parenting classes, I'm in school, and I still have the 2 little ones to attend to. That in itself was a whole new ballgame because my 2 youngest were in an abusive situation while I was in jail. And I had to get counseling for them, get different services for them. There was just an adjustment period. Everyone thinks like, okay, you're home now and everything's supposed to be all shiny and pretty and it's gonna be okay. And it wasn't. I mean, I wasn't prepared. Well, I was prepared, but I wasn't. Like, I had all the tools, it was just trying to figure out how to make it all work. But it was a long, drawn-out process, but I'm blessed to say that I have, as she said, a really great job. It's a faith-based program that I work for. I have all my kids under one roof. I have a beautiful home. I am about to become a first-time homeowner in the next year. I'm off all supervision. I still owe fines because they don't go away. Apparently when you're done, you're not all the way done. So the fines are still there, so I'm still paying those off. It'll be a little while yet. But like, I have a new car. I'm blessed beyond measure. Like, I can only, today I had, for my job, I have to network with different agencies, wherever. Mind you, I am, like, when I pulled up my rap sheet to get cleared to go into the prison. They give you this little section. You see how big that is? They said, please list any charges or arrests. I attached 6 pages that said, see attached. And now, I got a call today from the chief of probation. Hey, I'd like to sit down and have a meeting with you for our agencies to network. I'm like, does he know who he's sitting down with? But I guess he does because I'm a new creature. I'm not who I was. So, you know, it's... But I mean, I don't know what I would do without House of Ruth because I've been out of the program for a couple years now. But while she called me her spiritual child, I call her in the middle of the night. These kids are driving me crazy. The one, once he's 17, he wants to hang out with his friends. What am I going to do? Because I'm going to kill him first. You know, she's there for me and my children. You know, we just sometimes just go sit down there and just have dinner or just hang out, whatever. It's, I don't know, like, while the program was done years ago, like, she doesn't realize she's stuck with me now. It's an awesome program, and I'm forever, that's why when you said, can I come? I will always come. I am forever grateful for everything you guys have done for me. Thank you.
Sweetie right here. I think we told you earlier, she was 4 when her mother came home, and she didn't know her mother very well. I know we always hear about the moms getting their kids back, but we gotta understand these kids are getting a mom back they don't know sometimes. So I asked Shemaya if she would tell us how she felt. She's told us before about what it was like to have this lady say she was your mom. You didn't know a whole lot about her, and then you're living in a house with these strange people, Papa Joe and me, and you know, all this change all of a sudden. You're thrust into this whole thing. And what that was like and where you're at now with the whole situation with your mom.
When I was 3, when I was 4, about 4, the people who had full custody of me said I was leaving in about a day. So that means I had a day to pack up all my stuff. And I met my mother, and then we went to the House of Ruth, and it was kind of fun, I would say. But other than that, I know that Papa Joe and Miss Linda were very helpful for my mom. But before, I never saw a picture of my mom. I would never even. The people who had me never even talk about my mom. So it's like I never had a mom. But when I went with her, I learned that she loved me actually. And I went to the House of Ruth, and we lived there for about a while. When I was 5, she got her first apartment, and when I was 6 or 7, we moved again, and that's when she got her first car. But as I got older, I realized my mom was changing a lot. Nowadays we go to the House of Ruth a couple times to have dinner sometimes just to hang out. And when I was living in the House of Ruth, I soon realized they were helping my mom. And that's why I had to live there. But other than that, if it wasn't for the House of Ruth, I don't think I'd be with my mom today.
All right, Julia, you're next. Now, Julia is one of those who left. And she's going to just share a little bit about her journey. She was in the house for a couple months, and she's going to tell you, and her reason for leaving is very much common as far as what girls do when they decide, I'm not staying here anymore. I've heard everything from, I'm 40 years old, and I know what I'll do, and I don't need somebody to tell me how to live. You know, I met this guy at rehab, he's been clean for 3 days, and I'm ready to go. I've heard it all. And I know what I'm hearing. It's not going to work, but Julia, you left, what was it, 2011? I can't remember now, 2010? It's been a couple years. And I just wanted, because I get asked all the time, why do girls leave? Well, I don't chain them up, put them in the closet, they can leave anytime they want. You know, they're free to go. It breaks my heart when it happens, but they always find their way back. Because God has work to do in me.
So I am Julia. Yes, I left a few years ago. My reasoning behind it was Linda and Papa Joe were away, and it was my birthday, and I wanted to go hang out. I think go to a ball game with some friends and in Philly, and they said no because they were out of town, and I knew what I was doing, and I knew what I wanted to do, and I did what I wanted to do, so I left. I didn't call. I know that I had them like so upset. Anyway, since then, I guess, obviously you go back to jail when that happens, pretty much. It's been like a revolving door for me. I guess 12 years of in and out. I've had 11 county PVs. And then I went upstate finally about 2 years ago. And on the 19th this month, it'll be, I think, 14 or 15 months out finally. I mean, I was never out longer than, I guess, 5 months, and that was always with On the Run. So since I've been home, I got back in touch with Linda and Papa Joe, and they've been huge mentors in my life, and I realized, you know, I really want this and things have to change, and I have a 6-year-old little girl. My state pro officer, Scott Lapp, is here, and his wife, and I want to thank you guys. I've learned, like, mostly just being honest. I had to be honest with myself, and honest with whoever, even when it hurt, you know. And I'm learning a lot, I'm still doing a lot. Time management's a big thing for me. I have my own business now. It's just now growing. I got partial custody of my daughter just recently. And that's tough, it's a transition and a struggle. I've been with a wonderful man, Joe Ritchie, for almost 3 years now, who's been a huge part of my life. And helping me make decisions, and I guess I've done it pretty much by giving up and giving in and not doing things Julie's way. And I have so much going for me right now, and I'm thankful to be here today and speaking at this, and Papa Joe and Linda, I love you guys, and House of Ruth, and now I do things voluntarily for House of Ruth, and can hopefully get back into the prison someday. One of these days. I don't know if I want to go back into the doors yet, but I want to be able to help others, you know. So I have my business cards up there. I do living assistance, transportation, and indoor and outdoor projects, small home projects. So if you want to grab one on your way out, and just thank you all for coming.
All right, Gigi. Gigi was our first graduate. Gigi was the girl that walked in the door with me and found the house and had you gone. And I know that made you feel real good.
Sure did.
Yes, we weren't laughing at the time, but now it's, you know, it is what it is. So I wanted you to talk about having been the first resident, first graduate, and that was 6 years ago. There's been a lot of changes at the house. And you've seen those changes. She does relief for us when we go out of town. She takes care of the house and the girls. She is on the support team. She transports and helps out wherever she can, and now she goes into prison with me. So she's giving back, and she knows God's calling her to some things. She's been speaking at Naaman Center groups, and she's moving along. I'm not going to tell them. So I'm just going to give her a couple minutes to tell you the changes she's seen at the house and how the way it used to be compared to how it is now.
When I first got to the house, like she explained, the house manager had disappeared. When I got there, there was a 6 to 8 month, you could only stay within that limited time. You had to go to church once a week. We had house meetings. You had to get a job, and you had to be gone within 6 to 8 months. And guess what? I left in the 6 months after I got there. I got there May, I got married and left. But now the house has structure, something that I participate in that I don't have to, because I love the structure and the foundation of the God piece, if I could say it like that and everybody understands. Linda and Papa Joe, with their graciousness, have moved me next door to the big house. I call it the big house. I do. But they have moved me next door, so you know, as you can see, I'm truly blessed. But what I'm trying to explain is that the foundation that these girls get now, some are ready for and some are not. Some try to stick it out and some just simply can't because they can't deal with the heartache and the pain that is locked so deep down inside. And when you're in the house, it's a safe place. It's a haven. And you start things, God starts bringing things out of you that you feel as though that you're not ready to deal with, but you really are, because you're in a safe environment. You have people who love you, people who encourage you, people that help you move forward even when sometimes you're really not ready. Papa Joe is my earthly father. Mama Linda is my earthly mother, even though my mother's still alive. The dependability about the house is what you make out of it. What you get out the house is what you're going to put in it, like anything in life. But I really like the way that it's structurally sound now. You do Bible studies, like this Miss Brenda and the strong man, how to thwart the enemy's advances against you. Like, all this is like, even though I've been out the house since 2007 and I do the God piece, but my faith is much stronger now. Not because I live next door, it's because I'm making it stronger, because I need it stronger for me in order to survive and make it out here in this world. And without that, without the house, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I've been an addict for over 30-something years. I used to be an IV drug user. Rap sheets, I got 6 pages. I got 2 degrees. They told me I couldn't do it. I've done a whole lot of things that they said I couldn't do. God opened that door. He pushed me through, and I keep on moving. I fuss, I cuss, I holler, I shout, I cry, I have tantrums. But as long as he keep leading me, whether I like where he's leading me or not, I'm going. Because I know today that his love, the house love, and the love from the girls in the house, and my family's love, my daughter's sitting here today. 10 years ago, she probably wouldn't have touched me with a broomstick. No, I'm being for real, because she used to be scared that she'd get a call at night that I was dead from running the streets. And I'm a grown woman with grown kids. I got grandchildren, great-grands. It's time to grow up. But I appreciate the house, and I love yous.